Hey guys, out for an evening run. Want to take the camera along. I'm huffing and puffing now. I had to run across the highway. Anyway, wanted to see again, test out the steadiness of this camera, because literally my hand is shaking right now, and it does a pretty good job at stabilizing it. Anyway, the Minnesota humidity it's not as dry as Colorado, but I'm at 1,000 feet, not 9,000, so that always helps out too. Yeah, it's August 6th, and hope you're enjoying your day. I've had a few delays in the visa process getting to Korea, and so I should technically be in Korea by now, but there were some problems, such as life. You always plan, it's gonna take a week, a month, it takes 2 weeks, it takes 2 months. That's just, that's part of it. And I think that's where a lot of us give up. That's where we really experience the failure. We experience what we thought would work out, and then if it doesn't work out in our time, it frustrates us. And so, yeah, I just want to show you a picture of the road. I love running and biking the open road, trails. It's freeing, it's peaceful. People say, oh, it's hard to run marathons or ultra marathons or bike this far, and the answer is it absolutely is. It's hard, but we've been wired today by the god of convenience in our air-conditioned cars and houses, and not that things aren't good. Our cell phones, they help us out, but they've also stolen from the man and the woman that we are. We gotta be men and women of, we gotta get back to our roots. Man, when Jesus was on earth, they were walking 15, 20 miles some days in between towns. Their legs were just, I'm talking ripped. And I'm all about that. I'm all about getting out and enjoying nature, and not just a little bit, but a lot. Because it's not only the mental, it's not only the physical legs, it's also the mental. I think that's the biggest reason. That's why I started running in college. I wasn't a runner in high school. I started running my first marathon because, well, usually I ran a lot after I failed a few math tests in college, and I had to get that energy out somehow. So I went and ran hard. And I think a lot of us either started running because we thought it was healthy, and which it is, but I think a lot of us run marathons or go running, or again, do these hard things because we really truly do desire to overcome and win. In 2008, when the economy in America was terrible, it was one of the most record years for people signing up and running marathons. Although their bank accounts were suffering, they also wanted to put their body through hell. They wanted to go see, hey, I'm more than a bank account. I want to go accomplish and run a certain distance, or I want to go accomplish something that I've wanted to do for a while. That sense of purpose and something, although it's not a true purpose to live by just to go run marathons, it is admirable and it is enjoyable. How much more of a purpose we have. We get to work with the Lord every day. We get to go run the race, so to speak, and we all have different races. We all have different talents. Some of us are called to minister, and that's a conventional way on stage at a church. Some of us are called to do business, so people can see how blessed we are in our business deals, and they can glorify our Lord. We are a light to the world. Don't think you're not. Don't be afraid when they hate you. Don't be afraid when they revile you. It says, not for your sake, not for your name's sake, for the Lord's sake. Jesus says, man, they're gonna hate you for my sake. So when people are hating you, man, brush it off your shoulder, because guess what? They're not hating you. They're hating the light because they've been in darkness. But man, when you expose that light, and that light isn't judgmental in the form of religion, man, people are gonna start to flock to you. Jesus wasn't judging people on this earth. I'm not saying he was loving the sin. He was loving the sinners though. People, it says multitudes would flock to him. They would follow him out to the middle of nowhere. And so it's the same for you and me today. Go through that, those backbiting employees or whatever. Go through it, because guess what? You're gonna persevere and you're gonna win. I guarantee it. When you cross that finish line, the first time I crossed the finish line was in mid-June 2011. First time I crossed the finish line of 26.2 miles. It was a feeling I can never explain to you. It was like I was superhuman. It was awesome. I didn't run fast. It was my first one, but it was an amazing experience. Man, I was just planning on going for a little run, but I'm jacked up right now, guys. I'm getting lit up right now. Yeah. Anyway, God's got more for you guys. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid, and don't try to be so careful. Oh, Brandon, it's easy for you to say that. You don't have kids, you don't have a family, you don't have a mortgage. Guess what? Until you stop being the victim in your story, you're not gonna see change. You're gonna be if you keep speaking like a victim, you're gonna be a victim. In 5 years, you wanted to change, but nothing happened. Because guess what? Your body responds to your speaking. And that's why when we declare that we're healthy by Jesus' stripes, it's one thing for someone to pray for you, and that's powerful. But when your mouth speaks it, man, there's something to it. It's your voice speaking to your body. It's your voice speaking to your future. I can't stop and I won't stop. There was a video of Elon Musk, and he's the starter of Tesla, the electric car, and also SpaceX and a variety of things. And an interviewer was asking him after his SpaceX, his rockets, I believe it was 3, maybe 2, but after 2 or 3 of his rockets, his first ones failed, blew up. The interviewer said, well, why don't you give up? And Elon said, he's not saved, he's not a believer, not that I know of. Elon said, I can't give up. I cannot give up. Until you get to that place in your life where you're sick and tired, and we all know who says that, until you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, that you'll change. That you'll say, hey, I deserve better than this. I want a better life. I'm not gonna complain anymore. I'm gonna be proactive and not reactive. Until that day comes, nothing's gonna change. I could hope to run a marathon, but if I didn't put in the time, I wouldn't have finished it. I could hope to be successful in ministry and in business, but unless I put in the time, look, and this is not negating faith. This is faith. Faith is proactive. And so, I don't know if you can see the sun. When I'm speaking to you and myself, guys, it's not condemnation. I want to get that straight right now. It's from the heart. But today, a lot of us, especially my age, 20 and 30-year-olds, we want people to be nice. We don't want to get offended, but We got to be a little stern once in a while though. And so I'm excited for you guys. If you could get to the end of this life the way you want it to be, the way you've seen it when you were a kid, to be a blessing, to be an encourager, to grow in more spirituality, in more truth with the Lord, to bless your community, to live financially free, not having to wake up and think about money every day, to live in health. If you could do that, once you go for it, once you toe the line, once you start that race, I don't care your age. God doesn't either. If you read the Old Testament, you see so many people, their age, it was a factor, but they did not account it as a factor. The promise from the Lord, Abraham said, he who promised is also able to bring it to pass. Your age is not a factor. God is bigger than your age. God is bigger than your bank account. I don't care if you have 80 bucks, 50 bucks. God's bigger than that. God is bigger than the disease you're experiencing in your body right now. Guarantee. Take off those clothes. Throw them down. You're not in poverty anymore. You live in a prosperous country. And more importantly, doesn't matter where you live, you serve a prosperous God. Go forth, guys. It's worth it. No one wants to get to the end of this life and say, I had a lot more regrets than I wish I had. It's too late then. It's not too late now. This is awesome. I'm getting fed right now. I hope you are too, guys. Don't be afraid. I like to think of it this way. I'm not a gambler, but pushing the chips all in, because if you go bankrupt, if that plan of moving somewhere else and starting a different job, guess what? If the dealer takes it all, if you lose, dude, you haven't lost. You've only made a mistake. You are the only one that gets to determine if you lose or not by saying, I quit. God's not going to quit on you. And I'm not saying go make a move right now that you know is not of the Lord. But I went to a conference 2 months ago, and the number one thing, and it was a Christian conference, a business summit. The number one thing they said, I heard it from 3 different people, and they were not putting it together because they were all in separate sessions. Number 1, don't be afraid to take more risk. Don't be afraid to take more risk. I love that. Christianity is not a safe route, if you will. Jesus on this earth was not playing it safe. He was listening to the Father. He was doing his will. It was risky, and he paid the ultimate price. Will you pay the price? Because you're worth it, and that's why Jesus died for you, so that you could reign in this life, and that you could reign, always reign. I gotta be careful now. I'm crossing over a busy highway, so take a break. You only have 100 meters to go. You gonna stop, or are you gonna finish? Finish it. And when you finish, celebrate. Notice there's flies flying around me the whole time. Who's the Lord of the flies? Just remember that. There'll be flies flying around you just because you are healthy, are successful, are a believer. are blessed financially, there's going to be flies flying around you. And we, of course, pray for the people that revile us, but don't let them bother you. You give them control. You give those people control when you get upset, when you lose your cool. But when you stay cool, it's like heaping coals on top of their head. They don't know how to respond. A worldly person who doesn't know the Lord can operate in this. He can be nice to someone, but only for so long. You will stand out. Your light will burn brighter when you don't retaliate, attack, save the vengeance for the Lord. All right. God bless you guys. And I will see you guaranteed next video in Seoul, South Korea.